Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Sarah Stevens. I am the Senior Program Coordinator of Community Engagement in the SLiCE office at CSU. And I've been leading Cans Around the Oval on the CSU side for the last 3 years. And wow, it's definitely been quite a different year in 2020 with the COVID pandemic, and as Morgan has experienced as well. And I see some other people on this in the attendees that are from SLiCE and from the food bank and of the past of the food bank as well. So I think a lot of people today can probably agree, and anybody entering in can agree, that COVID has definitely taught us how to be more creative, and for CANs we've had to learn to be more collaborative and more conscious in our efforts, and a lot of that is what is seen, and I'm going to share with you a lot of the results at this period of time. This is before noon with 5 hours to go in the overall 30-day long Cans Around the Oval and 34th-year-old tradition. I am going to give a little bit of context on my side of things, and then we're going to turn it over to Morgan, who will share more about the food bank as well. But just to give some context, we are going to spend 30 minutes today, just going to wrap up right around 11:30. And we'll give you some more idea of where does the food go and how do you transform $1 actually into 2 meals. And hopefully, if you're interested in these topics, how do you actually get more involved with the food bank virtually or in person well beyond today, which is World Food Day. This is what we've done so far. I'm gonna let some extra folks in here. We are really trying to focus on World Food Day this year. So the theme was grow, nourish, and sustain together. And I have a quick little video for what is this World Food Day. We focus so much about CSU in Northern Colorado. It's very microcosmic, but this is something that's celebrated and focused on in 130 countries around the world. And there are programs all over the place today, and many have been going on for quite some time as well. So I have a quick video for you to get to know what World Food Day is.
Somos las raíces que nutren.
每一位粮食英雄都发挥着重要作用。
Nous devons nourrir le monde. È giunto il momento di risollevarsi.
Together, we can make a difference.
To lives and communities everywhere.
Нам нужна устойчивая продовольственная система.
لأن مصيرنا واحد.
All right, that was pretty bite-sized, but that gives some context. Every year we try to host Cans Around the Oval on or around Food Day, World Food Day. And so on Wednesday would have been our typical collection day. I went out to the Oval. I'll show some video clips at the very end, but put some signs around the Oval. I was the sole person out there at 7:30 in the morning, and the grass was pretty crisp and it was pretty cold outside, but pretty surreal also to not be able to quite be out there in person. But we really wanted to show how there was a bit of transition this year. And one of those things was food comes in at the Oval every year. So does coins, cash, check. We have the online donation portal always set up, or at least in the last few years. And then as you don't quite see, there are 18-wheelers that take food from the Oval over to the food bank's location. And then every week right now with our not so mobile food pantry on campus, those same trucks come back to campus and bring an amount of food that's distributed at our food share location, which is the not so mobile, I'm calling it, food pantry in the Laurie Student Center Theater. And so to save a quick step, we took donations in, the last moment is by 12 p.m. today on campus, and then the food bank at their Wright Drive location in Loveland took in food donations there from local schools and some community organizations. And we want to give you a sense, before Morgan gives a lot more context about where the food goes beyond CSU, I wanted to share with you another quick little video of what CSU's mobile food pantry is right now and our Rams Against Hunger program. That is not it. We will find another video. 1 second. All right.
Food insecurity is a reality that far too many members of our RAM community face, but Rams Against Hunger is taking a thoughtful and aggressive approach to this issue.
Our person-first response holds basic need as a prerequisite for our collective success as a land-grant institution. To that end, Rams Against Hunger offers a menu of services to address food insecurity.
These services include a food pantry, where Rams can come for fresh and shelf-stable groceries, a meal swipe program, which allocates eligible students 60 swipes at CSU dining halls, pocket pantries, where Rams can go for quick grab-and-go food options, the Ram Food Recovery Program, ensuring leftover food from catering events is used by students in need, and assistance with navigating the SNAP federal benefits application. The Rams Against Hunger multi-pronged approach acknowledges the broad scope of the issue and seeks to normalize this difficult conversation for the individuals affected. Please consider joining us to combat food insecurity within the RAM community.
All righty.
Food insecurity.
Well, hopefully that gives you some context of what we have on campus. I wanted to just take the next few minutes to share numbers. I think numbers speaks volumes, particularly if you're looking for the latest results. And so here's some latest updates. This was pulled at 10:45 a.m. today on World Food Day, October 16th. Just a little bit of context first. We had some original campaign goals. You're going to hear about contributions, and we could try to fit the word can into as many things as possible. And thanks for bearing with us while doing that. We thought that $34,000 of food was a good way to honor the 34th year. And obviously COVID-19 is happening and we're in the midst of a pandemic. And I think from my point of view, I thought, well, let's be sensitive and be conservative in a way, and thank folks, because we will take literally whatever you could have contributed. And we actually hit that $34,000 last Thursday, on Thursday, October 8th in the evening. And then we thought, well, why don't we try to reach last year's goal, which total amount, which was about $52,000, which we also reached this week. And then we thought, there's no way that we can reach that. I don't know, maybe we didn't think there was no way, but we didn't know if we would reach the most that we've ever received for financial donations, which was in 2018, which was about $61,500. And we actually, maybe, I'll tell you in a moment. Okay, and the other things that we had part of our campaign goals is we hope to get 8,000 pounds of food. That comes in with, there is 350 people a week that utilize CSU's mobile food pantry, and they get 25-pound boxes of food. So 350 plus 25 pounds equates to 8,000 pounds of food. And so we were thinking, let's aim for 8,000 pounds. That's enough of a week's worth of food distribution at CSU's food pantry. And then the last bit is we really wanted to push creative, collaborative, and conscious efforts for how folks could contribute this year, particularly because we had to pivot and transform the way in which we operate and had to change our processes. So here's some numbers. Okay, so we had 77 teams, that should say, that registered for this year's friendly competition. And this is self-reported from them, but they said total, that's about 9,000 people. And that doesn't even include, or maybe it does, not quite sure, the 1,000 or so folks who've donated online and by check. And so pretty huge numbers already there. Total cash, coin, and check donations at this very moment, this was at 10:45 a.m., was $8,438.28.
Alexa, stop.
Yes, Alexa, do stop. Okay, here we go. Total online donations at this very moment is $65,318.88. So when you put it together, I did not share that total for some reason, but it equates to 130,638 meals. At the end of this session, right before we close off at 11:30, I'll tell you what the latest is for the amount of food, the amount of dollars that has been raised. As of right now, this number has actually changed. I've been getting texts right now from folks that are over in the food pantry at CSU. But at 10:45 a.m., we had 3,611.5 pounds of food. That also includes food that was donated at the food bank this week. And I guess in the next hour or so, we're receiving a truckload that's coming in from the United Way of Larimer County, and they're going to be sharing with us hundreds of these non-perishable food kits. And so just wanting to thank the United Way. That's huge and big, and they're also going to drop off a large amount next week, because obviously Cans Around the Oval isn't the end of food donations and financial donations and can contributing. All right, so that's it from me. We're going to turn it over to Morgan to really share, where does food go? How do you transform funds, and how do you further get involved?
Hi guys, I am Morgan. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for the Food Bank for Larimer County. I started here in June in the middle of the pandemic, which was a little wonky, and the pandemic has just changed everything that we do. We've had to rethink how we get food to our clients. We've had to rethink how we get food coming in. It's just been absolutely wild. So one of the things we had to change was, we normally at our fresh food shares in Fort Collins and Loveland, they were client choice. Our clients could come in, they could shop, they could pick out the food that was best for their families. And obviously with COVID, we can't do that anymore. So we've had to transform everything to a drive-through model. We've had to change our hours. We've had to shift so many things. And our clients aren't able to necessarily pick the food that may be best for them and their families. So that's been a bit of an issue. But the way that these funds help is they allow us to make sure we're purchasing food that can be good for most people. It also allows us to help farmers in our area. So we've used a lot of the funds we've raised with COVID to purchase food from farmers in our areas, which has been really helpful for them to keep them functioning and going, so we can continue to have really great fresh produce in the area. And then it's also really helpful for our clients to have those healthier options that they might not get if they're going to a grocery store on a limited budget. So it's been super helpful to do that with all these funds. And the way that we stretch that $1 to 2 meals is by using other programs, like helping with different food drives, and smaller ones, larger ones, all of them. But also we have a food rescue program where we partner with different grocery stores, and they let us take food from them that may be going, like maybe they can't sell it because it might be going bad in a few weeks, and we're able to turn it around within 24 hours so it can get to a home within that 24-hour time period while it's still good and people can enjoy that food. So that's a way we can stretch funds. We also work with Feeding America. We're a Feeding America food bank, so we're one of 200 and something. And we're able to work with Feeding America to get really large bulk items. And we're able to split that up amongst our clients and whatnot. So we're able to make sure that we're getting that healthier options, and a lot of really big bulk packages for less than retail price. So it's something that we can get for a little bit cheaper than, say, a grocery store or a retailer could get. And we're able to get that to our clients. So those are just a few ways that we're able to stretch those dollars. And as for where the food goes, our food goes to families. It goes to people who need it. And that's it. And when we do get food that maybe we can't use, maybe it's expired, maybe it's open, maybe it's crushed, for whatever reason, we can't use it. We have different programs with different farmers, so we can use composting. So we can do composting, and we can just kind of prevent as much waste as we can. We reuse all of our boxes. We're like very green here, which is really nice. But yeah, so that's where our food goes. It either goes on people's tables or in compost with local farmers. And as for ways you can get involved, I did mention all of those bulk items that we get from Feeding America and from other retailers. We desperately need to split those up into kind of smaller packages for our families. You don't want to give, you know, one family a 40-pound bag of carrots. That would be outrageous. So we need to split those up into smaller sizes. We have our nutritious kitchen where we also purchase food for that. We send prepackaged meals out to after school programs and seniors. We've currently been doing senior delivery. So we've been working on that. So you could volunteer in our kitchens. Our food shares always need volunteers. Do your own food drive, maybe on a smaller scale. You could donate still. We still, even though cans is over, we still need the donations. So there's just tons that we could do.
Morgan, could you share a little bit about the volunteer opportunities?
Yeah.
I apologize. I had to look at the totals real quick. So if you said that, disregard.
Yeah,
me.
no, I just said all the places we can volunteer, and it's right on our website. All of the different options are listed on the website. There's a form you fill out. It's super easy, takes like 2 minutes, and you'll be reached out to by our wonderful volunteer coordinators, Kimberly and Matt, who wanted to be here to plug volunteering because it is something we really, really need right now. We went through a little bit of a spike in volunteers when COVID first happened because people really wanted to help. And now that kids are back in school and things may be opening up again, our volunteer numbers have definitely plummeted. So we really need the help. So if y'all want to volunteer, definitely go on our website and do that because we need it.
Alrighty, we'll go ahead and start fielding any questions that you have. Myself or Morgan can answer. If you want to go ahead and add any questions you may have in the chat, we'll read it out and respond. Otherwise, we will just go ahead and wrap up the session. We'll give you a few moments. And we'll sit in this awkward silence with you, and thank you all for being here as I do some calculations behind the scenes. So go ahead if you have any final questions for CANs 2020. We're happy to answer.
Hey, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
You can go ahead.
Let's see, can you hear me okay?
Yes, yep.
Awesome. Yeah, so a group of us from liberal arts have a ton of donations in the queue, but we wouldn't be able to drop them off until about 3:30. I'm just curious if that's a possibility.
I am not sure about the mobile food pantry on campus. It closes at 12 and the SLiCE staff do leave. Their shifts are over at 12.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it to Morgan to let us know if there's a way to do it at their main location. Otherwise, I think at the CSU location, it's 12 p.m.
Yeah, you can definitely drop things off here at our main location. We will be here until 4:30, 5, so definitely. And I don't know if you would mind putting your email in the chat for me, and I will send you an email and make sure that we can coordinate it so you can drop it off at 3:30, if that would be okay with you.
Yeah, that sounds good. Was that Morgan that was speaking?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. And that's over at the Larimer County Food Bank?
Yeah, so it'll be at our Right Drive location.
Okay, what's the address for that? Just so I make sure I send my team the right info.
Yeah, it's 5706 Right Drive, Loveland.
And that's RWIGHT?
WRIGHT.
WRIGHT Drive. Okay.
All right, great. Glad that worked out because
Yay!
yes,
No, we'll take,
it's going to be a little difficult.
We'll take all the donations we can get.
Awesome. Any other questions? You can type them into the chat, or you can also come off mute as well. We'll field any. Alrighty, well, if you have any more come in, I'm gonna go ahead and cover the last bit for CANs around the Oval 2020, CANversations around food and all of that. For those who are attending, I'd like it for you to fill out this attendance form. I'm gonna send it in the chat right here. This is our way of tracking not only who attended, but to give 25 points per team member that is a part of a registered team. It's a points-based system, so we don't just award the top contributor based off of the food or funds they donated, but there were multiple ways in which folks could contribute this year. And so some were posting on social media. For every public social media post that utilize our hashtag #TogetherWeCans2020, we will go back next week and we will find those posts. And if you are a registered team, you get 1 point per like. Other ways, we had a coffee and CANversations event that was in the LSC Plaza. It wasn't really an event, we were tabling. But if folks stopped by, they were able to contribute in one of 3 ways: have a CANversation with us. They were able to chalk the plaza and promote through art and messaging, cans around the oval, world food topics, local hunger relief information as well. And if you were able to show that you had given online, folks maybe showed their phone or some other version, they were able to get coffee at Sweet Sensations. And so that was one way we were really creative this year. And with collaboration, we worked closely with our Rams Against Hunger team, which is also through SLiCE, and was smart to be able to utilize a place that really has solid COVID procedures on campus, even though we couldn't be in the Oval to receive food. And consciously, we had 5 CANversations this week. And so thank you, Morgan, for talking it up at the food bank and for being an awesome partner the last 30-ish days and all of our planning prior. Yesterday, we had 3 registered student organizations: Agronomy Club, Study of Soil Sciences, ROAR, Rams Organizing for Animal Rights, and the Paper Bag Crew, who cares quite a bit about feeding folks locally, nationally, globally, human health, and food rescue. Before that, we talked about Rams Against Hunger and learned more about the mobile food pantry. On Tuesday, we learned more about SNAP benefits and how do you apply, and how can a household get $204 extra per month to be able to have their choice of foods at grocery stores and farmers markets. And then on Monday, we had RDEC, which is an agricultural educational and research center through CSU that helped us understand how they were able to grow food quickly during a pandemic, and their produce, fruits and vegetables are donated to the mobile food pantry each week or every so often. And so it was a really holistic CANversations we had. It was very interdisciplinary, and we thank you all for joining us. Here's the latest numbers we have for CANs as we wrap up. Online right now, we have, it is refreshing the page, $57,000 and $300 as well. $57,300 is the amount online. From the food bank just today, from the mobile food pantry today, and the last 3 days, we have an additional 1,100 pounds that just came in, and we're waiting on the food bank, or we're waiting on United Way for those food kits. We'll take liberal arts' food today, I guess, at Right Drive. And that's it, folks. We could not be more appreciative. I will say Rams Take Care of Rams sure showed up. Y'all took some action, whether you're on campus or off campus. Could not be more appreciative as a 2-time alumna of CSU, very proud of everything. We heavily blew it out of the water for our record year, going over $65,000, the most ever in 34 years. So please don't forget, 5 p.m. Today online is the last moment to donate funds. And don't forget to fill out that attendance form. That's pretty critical. Otherwise, we cannot get you those points. Do not forget to click the blue submit button. All right. Come on, you can come off of mute and say hello, thank you, all that. You can put it in the chat, but little ASL sign language thank you all to Morgan as well, and take care, everyone.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Y'all are amazing. The food bank is so appreciative. So yay.